my box just came in the mail, but I wanted to do like a quick little unboxing just so I could show you what's in the box, how it's packaged, just so you know what to expect if you decide to order yourself. They have some special offers in here. I thought it would be for HelloFresh, but it's for some other products. And then here are our recipe cards. I got the seared steak with demi reduction. Also got the banh mi pork burgers. I got a couple burgers this time because that was just what looked the best to me. Also got the caramelized onion Swiss burgers with roasted garlic, horseradish, aioli, and seasoned potato wedges. That sounds delicious to me. And then buffalo spiced crispy chicken cutlets with, again, mashed potatoes and green beans. Everything in my kit came with potatoes, which my daughter pointed out to me. I didn't even realize it until she did. I'm not mad at a potato. I am not mad at a potato. Everything is neatly packaged in here. So we have our seared steak with demi reduction right here. And there is a QR code on here in case you lose the recipe card so that you can still make it. So it doesn't take you directly to the recipes, but what it does is takes you to this little area right here where you can see the recipes. And then you can just go to the one you're trying to cook and say, cook it. You can navigate the menus with voice control, which is a cool little feature. The bag is coming apart a little bit. I don't know. It's just, I guess, too much moisture in there. It's a really hot day today, like 90 degrees. And all the ingredients are in here with the exception of the meats, which are in the bottom of the box. We got the ice packs. And then we have our meat steak. Here's our ground pork. Again, 2 servings in this pouch and 2 servings in this pouch. Each one is 10 ounces. We're gonna get like 5-ounce burgers as opposed to 4-ounce. Also got the chicken cutlets, 10 ounces and 2 servings per package. And then the last thing we got is the ground beef, and this is 85% lean, and that is everything that's in our box. So I'm gonna keep these and put these in the freezer and let them be used later on for lunches for my husband. I don't think that this is like overly wasteful. I think that they have done a really good job of kind of limiting the amount of stuff that has to go in here. And then all we have left to deal with is this box, which we can obviously just break down. Or in my case, I like to just put all of my recyclables into a box. I just start a new box like this and then just add everything else that needs to be recycled into this box. So here are all of my meals. And like I said, I'm just gonna throw these right into the refrigerator, throw the meats into the freezer because I'm not gonna start cooking these until tomorrow. And I'm just gonna store these in a safe place until we're ready to actually use them. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get started on the first meal. Today I'm cooking the caramelized onion burgers. So I got my recipe card ready to go. Also got my package with all my ingredients. We missed a potato. And then here is all the other stuff that's in the bag. So we have some fry seasoning. We got, what's this? Some wasabi, mayo, and then we have one more package of the fry seasoning. So I will say this garlic is not the freshest, and it's giving me the blues to peel it. Like, it is really not easy to do. Toss potatoes on a baking sheet with a drizzle of oil, half the fry seasoning, salt, and pepper. Place garlic foil packet on the same sheet. Meanwhile, heat a large drizzle of oil in a large pan over medium heat. Add onion, cook stirring occasionally until browned and softened 8 to 10 minutes. Stir in sugar and water and cook until onions are caramelized and jammy. In a small bowl, combine mayonnaise, roasted garlic, and wasabi to taste.
You said I'm gonna use Taylor. I said
No, I
okay.
never said that.
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying.
You said that.
I'm not. I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
It's so good.
I need to try that. It's got the caramel up.
Mm.
I did uppercut him like 27 times, but it was all worth it. What's up? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? I'm a ice wolf pounded this man.
Something good tonight. Often drunk cause we have no money to buy, but we can stay all night to see the city lights.
If that man come back, I'm
When I tell you this is so good, it's so good. So I showed this meal to the kids and asked them if they were going to eat it, and they were like, nah fam. So they ended up having tuna sandwiches on this night, but this definitely ended up being my favorite meal of all of them. It was packed with flavor and so good. that I noticed about this service, or about HelloFresh in general, is that there's a lot of multitasking that's happening with these recipes. And if you're not the best at multitasking and cooking multiple things at one time, then you might struggle with this, because you're having to cook onions and roast carrots and cook burgers. Like, you're doing a lot of stuff at one time, and it can be overwhelming if you're not used to multitasking and cooking multiple things at the same time. It would be really easy to like burn something, or just have to kind of slow it down and do one thing at a time, which would make it take a whole lot longer. So for me personally, it's not a huge deal, but I can definitely see how it can be overwhelming, because there are so many steps and so many things happening at one time. So that's something to note. If you're not really a multitasker, then it's most likely going to take you a lot longer than the 30 or 45 minutes that's listed on the recipe card. Another thing that I didn't really like, is that well, I'm not gonna say I don't like it. My kids are really picky, but all of the meals aren't really kid approved, not in my house anyway. I think if you have picky eaters, you might have a hard time finding something that will suit their palate. I have some chicken nugget and hot dog eaters in this house who don't really like to veer outside of their comfort zone too often, and I really try to, get them out of that. But they're very picky. A lot of my kids are very picky with what they are actually eating. So if you have picky eaters, you might have a bit of a hard time getting them to try some of this stuff. Things that as an adult we think makes the food taste good, like garlic in the potatoes, or honey on the carrots, or the sauces and condiments that may come with your meal. Those are the very things in my experience that make the kids not like it. I like that the food is actually really good. Like, after having the meals, I can confidently say that the food is actually very, very good. It's things that I wouldn't necessarily try on my own. It's things that I wouldn't necessarily have thought to combine in the way that they were combined for these meals, because they're curated by chefs. So you get kind of like an upscale restaurant feel, even though you're at home. And then it's also a really good way to try out some things that you would never have normally thought to try out. And you get to control that process. So I really like that you can pick which meals you want to try, and it's not kind of set in stone. I'm someone who never buys steak, and this allowed me to kind of test out a steak recipe this week, which was really good, and I would probably make it again, with the exception of the sauce. No one really liked the sauce in my house. I don't know what it is about that demi-glace. I don't know what it was about it, but it had a weird taste to it. Taste the condiments before you actually put them on your food, because in the case of that beef demi-glace, it wasn't the best. Do I think it's worth it? Yes. I definitely do think that it's worth it, especially if you have a coupon code. It makes it, in my opinion, cheaper than buying groceries, especially if you're testing recipes and you're like buying a bunch of specialty ingredients and stuff like that. When I'm making specific recipes, I always end up having to buy a bunch of extra stuff that I'm only going to use for that one recipe, and I think this kind of eliminates that problem altogether. You can test out delicious recipes without the extra expense of having to buy a bunch of specialty ingredients. And just in general, I don't think that it's that expensive when I compare it to my normal grocery bill. I don't necessarily think it's sustainable to do it every single week, but like maybe once or twice a month, I think it's definitely worth it, and I will continue to use it. Either HelloFresh or another meal delivery service, most likely on rotation every month. And then the last thing I want to note is that it's still a lot of work. So it doesn't completely eliminate you having to cook. It definitely requires you to put that work in the kitchen, and in a lot of cases it might be even more work than you would be doing if you were choosing the meals yourself. If you were picking out the recipes yourself and doing your own meal planning, I think you might be doing a little bit more work with the HelloFresh meals, but you also get more of a restaurant quality meal in the end. So it's kind of a trade-off. If you are more worried about the quality of your food and you want like the most delicious or the tastiest meals that you can get, I think HelloFresh is the better option, just because it makes it a lot, like, there's really no guessing. They give you all the seasonings, they give you all the spices, they give you all the condiments, they give you everything, and it just makes it a lot easier to actually execute. with the combination of the ingredients and the meal card or the recipe card, I think you should definitely try it out. But I think that you should also go into it knowing that it's pretty involved, like the process is involved, versus just cooking like your normal spaghetti dinner that you would do and that you've done a million times and you know exactly what to do. So I will also say that they also have come out with a new line, I guess, a new product line where they're making no prep meals now. All you have to do is put them into the oven. Everything is inside the little baking dish already. You pop it in the oven and that's it. There's no prep, no cooking involved other than you just putting it into the oven. So if you don't want to do any work at all, that might be the better option for you. I think it might be slightly more expensive, or maybe it's the same price. I'm not really sure, but they do offer that, so I wanted to just throw that out there. I'm gonna be making more meal prep or meal kit videos because I'm testing out a few different services right now. So definitely watch one of these videos in the meantime, or maybe the video is up now and I'll put that here. Make sure you subscribe below and hit that notification bell right there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.